Good drawing. Hey Lana, party time. Gonna be a hot one today, 80. See, there's, when I grew up around here, we never saw a beaver, and I see there's quite a few of them. If you look on those infrared photos I took, you can see where they've taken down some huge trees near the nature center. I see here a beaver took that one down too. Hey Frisky, how you doing? Boy, didn't you think that Kim looked good? I thought she did. Yeah, I think things are looking pretty good for her. You know, Sharon got screwed out of her rehab. I had to go pick her up at the hospital. Spent there all night sleeping on chairs. Then they said they didn't have a space for her this morning. She was really upset. Oh yeah, Daisy really likes messing around, like the mud and, getting into the water up to her chest. So Sharon's gonna have to just get back on there. I mean, this is how it goes, and Kim is a perfect example. You know, society offers about half of what you need to get back on your feet. You get into these ruts for a million different ways. You get on drugs, you get broken down mentally, you can't function, and it's just so much easier to be high all the time and just worry about how you're going to get the money. And here she, gets back to rehab again, gets off drugs, in an apartment. Things are looking up, and she's just left out there with no money, no housing to go to, no place to get away from where she's trying to escape. And it's just so much easier to start getting high again. And for people that were never addicted to drugs, I've never been, but I've read enough about it and crossed paths with enough of people to realize what the problem is. This isn't rocket science. So, I mean, is it better than nothing? That's debatable. If she doesn't have some kind of follow-up help, the likelihood of her making it is low. And what society really doesn't figure out, I mean, they've figured it out in some aspects, is that you don't get out of it any cheaper by doing it this way. Actually, it probably costs you more through the criminal justice system, through Medicaid, and all these other programs that are reimbursed one way or the other through the taxpayer. So I hope things work out for her, and at least she's not going to have the worry of, being out in the street. Yeah, it's 10 times easier to go back to where you came from than it is to get clean and straight and a job. And these rehab places, man, if you looked at the statistics of the success rate, particularly on these publicly funded ones, it's a joke. I mean, it's bad enough if you're rich and it's costing you, $100,000 a month. Their batting average isn't that great either, so it all kind of makes sense. Oh yeah, I believe it, Frisky. Yep. So I think she'll be okay. Like I said before, I mean, one good thing that's come out of the videos, and that is that these people have a lot more support than they had prior to people getting to know them through interviews, which I think means a lot to them. And I think in some instances they're just scared to get on the right track. I mean, and I talk about this too. What's the right track? Being a soccer mom with 2 kids, driving a minivan, living in the suburbs? Maybe, maybe not. See, Daisy's laying down. That mud's cool on her belly. That nice and cool on your belly, hon? Yeah, I think you're right. Oh no, yeah. I mean, look at Sharon too. Sharon goes through all. Sharon didn't get dropped off at the hospital with a bunch of luggage because she doesn't think she was getting in this morning. It's one banana peel after another. No, I'm keeping it. No, I'm keeping the party. I'm going to title everything party. Only thing getting old, Sasha, is your stupid comments. Matter of fact, Sasha, see you later. Sorry for any technical difficulties. Hit your refresh button and try later, although to be honest with you, I don't think it's going to help. Time to make another ID, Sasha. 52 years old and still causing trouble. What do you, soap windows on Halloween? Yeah, it's true. Yeah, you do kind of need help. Well, as Kim mentioned yesterday, which is no surprise, I mean, she knows people that don't have anybody, trying to come out of this bullshit. Look at Daisy. That mud's cold on her stomach. Yeah, I'm glad you had him, oh no. Yeah, right on. You tell her, Lana. That's what I tell him. I wanted to. I didn't get much sleep last night. I don't know why either. I was tired, and it was going to be hot today. I was planning on just taking an easy day because it's going to be 80, high humidity. And then it's going to get cool again tomorrow, which is good. So I was just going to like catch up on my reading. But I met a guy for breakfast and picked Sharon up. So it actually worked out. I don't know. Sometimes I do that. I get up and I think, God, I'm going to be tired all day if I don't get some more sleep. But today I stayed up so I could finish off my videos and organize my room. And then Sharon called, so it all really worked out. Normally I'd have been sleeping. She'd have probably wondered how she was going to get back home. So it worked out. Hey Mark, how you doing? I may visit Ireland, but and I'm actually half Irish, supposedly. I don't know if I would or not. I was such a collector of photos and ephemera and diaries, and I had so much stuff from Europe. You got a big head start on us, because of the age of your country. I mean, it interests me a little, not a lot. Maybe I will go over for a week someday, but if I was betting, I'd say probably not. Traveling is such a pain in the ass now. I like doing, what I do, believe it or not. I know it sounds nuts. Even though I haven't lived around here in, God, I don't know how long, 30-something years. I've always kept my yearly park pass up. Can you believe that? Because I get back here enough to visit it that it's cheaper than if I had to pay individually. I got a lot of good memories here. Well, the alone thing, I mean, I've had my problems with depression, but when you hear somebody commit suicide or something happens, everybody says, well, they must have been depressed, they had poor coping skills. That wasn't my problem at all. It wasn't, I was cash poor for a while because I had stuff that I couldn't sell. That was one issue, that was part of it. But it wasn't a lonely deal at all. What it was is I looked at it like, hey, look, I've had a nice marriage. I had nice stuff. I traveled. I had my own airplanes. I did a lot of fun things. All those benchmarks that you set. I actually graduated from college. And after a while, after like 15 or 20 years of like that working, it started just getting so boring. And I kept starting over places. I moved to Chicago and started a business from scratch. Same thing. Had a great business, living in a 32nd floor, and then that started getting old. And seems like on that last nosedive, I'm thinking, God, well, I'm like 55 now, something like that, and I've done this enough times to where I'm just sick of it. It's like there was no carrot hanging from anything anymore. You weren't going to do it with a nice car or an airplane or travel or time off or girlfriends or any of that shit. And I just thought, God, man, I don't want to. What if I lived like 25 more years? It's like, oh my God, I just don't want to put up with this bullshit. It just got boring. It wasn't like, but if I'd have died, people would have said, well, he was just depressed. Too bad. That wasn't, I was, but it wasn't because of what you think it would be for. You just get sick of shit. No, the graveyard stuff would be cool. And I just didn't feel like doing what I'd done my whole life, even if it was in comfort. Just too boring. Just the same shit. I just kind of ran out of things that I, was naive about. I think that's what got me. There was nothing on the horizon that, I wanted to experience. I did it all. I took like 5-10 years off at a whack, just traveled, fucked around. And I just got bored with like wanting to do that for 25 more years. Yeah, infrared will be good over there. I think you're right, yeah. But you mentioned that, Frisky, that's just, I don't know why I'm not like that, but I was never that loneliness thing. I know it bothers most people, but it never bothered me. And when I see incidents like Kim or other people that I cross paths with, I know that they don't think like I do. And it's other issues that get them depressed. But, for all the people that have offed themselves, I think it's not fair that people made an assumption on why they think they did that, and only if they'd have gave them a big hug that everything would have been all right. That's not the case. There's a variety of reasons why people do it. And it isn't always because they can't get a date on Match.com. Yeah. There was a girl that I knew for a long time. She was a secretary for a CPA that I had for about 40 years. And she got divorced, and I was kind of friends with her. And long story short, a couple years ago, I was friends with her. That was it. And she was pissed that I wasn't interested in her, I guess, because she just got mad one time when I wouldn't go up north with her, and that was kind of the end of that relationship. But I still kept dealing with the firm. Anyway, long story short, she got breast cancer a couple years ago. And, this is I found out because I still dealt with the firm. It's like I called her, emailed her, no response. And I later found out from the guy that owned the firm that the office, of course, she'd worked there for a long time. They wanted to visit her in the hospital, and she basically, and in these words said, "Fuck you. I don't want anybody over here. I don't want any visitors. I just want to die in peace." And that's exactly what happened. So none of the people that she'd worked with all these years were able to visit her because she didn't want them there. Just pissed and died, but was fine with it. It's crazy. But it's not crazy. It's another person's take on the whole thing. Oh, you do get lonely? Oh, thank you, SS. I'll do that. Hey, Debbie. Yeah, I'll tell you what I do notice, though, is like when I lived in Chicago, like I would go down to I saw these people out yesterday. They hang a hammock up. See them? They hung a hammock up. A couple girls. I see them out here before. Like when I was living in Chicago, I belonged to the health club, which was in the same building. And we had 24-hour doormen. And, every time you went in and out, you talked to the doorman, and the health club was right downstairs. So you could think, oh, I'll go down there and, shoot baskets for a half hour. So you could go down there 3 or 4 times a day if you wanted. It was open from 6 in the morning till 10 at night. And that's just enough socialization for me, where I'd get a coffee. There's a place connected to it. You could get lunch, get to know the people. How you doing? 5-minute conversation here, 1-minute conversation with the doorman. And that's just perfect for me. But I noticed that if I get cut off completely, like during this COVID where I live in northern Michigan, it really affects me. I'm not kidding you. Get to the point where I'm going to start hearing voices and stuff. Couldn't go in to get a coffee. A lot of places were just closed, no drive-through. And it was a bitch, man. So if I don't get to intermingle a little bit on a daily basis, like I do here, the Red Roof Inn, I know the clerk, I get my gas at the same place, that kind of thing. I meet people I know on YouTube for a coffee. That's good, but if that all gets shut off, I'm in big trouble. So I think the bar is set pretty high. I guess you'd call it loneliness. I bought a book a long time ago, and it's Are You Lonely? And I don't think that I am, and I never read it. I still have it. But in browsing through it, there were different kinds of loneliness, just like I've explained the different kinds to get people to kill themselves. It's not just one thing. It's just like an airplane crash. It's not because of one thing. It's not like the engine quits and the plane crashes. It's like the autopilot's acting funny and you're bending over and you're trying to figure out what's right. Before you know it, you click it off accidentally and you're descending and you don't realize it because you knew it was working 10 minutes ago. It's a culmination of events and so many things, whether it's a tornado, a suicide, a divorce, a birth, a one-night stand. It's complex. Oh, thank you. That's no kid, Ron. No problem, that Ronnie. I'm sure you know by now that I picked her up this morning, which is no big deal. So I told her, just don't pay attention to what people say. Just come right out and tell everybody the truth. You know, I mean, I do lie still. If you were the ugliest woman that ever came in the world and came up to me and said, "Do you think I'm the ugliest woman you've ever seen?" I would say, "No, I don't." I would lie. So I do lie for certain reasons, but not like to con anybody out of thing or to make them think that something I've got that I don't have, or that kind of thing. But I will lie under certain circumstances like that. So basically I told Sharon, you know, if it was me, just come out with it. You know, might as well. There's always going to be a bunch of people out there. There's just as many people and maybe more that want to see you fail as succeed. And if you just feel embarrassed about not being in rehab and it wasn't your fault, and you start spinning this tale of why you're not there and it all catches up to you, it's just not worth it. Just come on today, do a live, tell them exactly what the fuck happened, and let the cards fall where they may. Because if you don't, and you try to twist this because you're embarrassed, it's going to come around and get you sooner or later, and you're going to lose credibility, and the people that are there to help you are going to get turned off. I have that happen with people. It can be just a comment or two, and I'm done with them. And I don't want that to happen to you, so just tell the truth. Yeah, I picked Sharon up at the hospital today. She spent all night there sleeping on chairs, and they told her this morning they didn't have a place for her after all night long, after getting there about 7:30. Now, I guarantee you, if Sharon would have had private insurance and it was high paying, she'd be in rehab now. That's the way it goes. And if you just saw all the shit that Sharon took with her, I'm not knocking her, but it looked like you were taking a lifetime vacation. So I know that she was planning on being in rehab, if by nothing else, the shit she drugged there with her. So it didn't work out this time. I told her, get a good day's sleep, relax, fuck these naysayers, block their comments, do a live, tell them what happened, and keep working on it. Yeah. Yeah, I mean, she was really upset about it, which I understand. I'm just glad normally I'm not up that early to go get her. You know, here's another thing too. So this is how this whole chain of events goes when you get down the shitter. And I told her, be straight about this. You know, if you're some Betty Crocker dumbass that doesn't understand heroin addiction, all these nosy fuckers, you know, that they want to get right on that. You know, they ask her all the time in her chats, are you still using? Fuck yeah, she's still using. She's a goddamn heroin addict. Why do you think she's going to rehab? You know, these people are always nitpicking away, dropping these little innuendos, like, hey, you're still on drugs, that kind of thing. So here's Sharon, planning on going to rehab, trying to make a better life for herself, gets fucked over on this bullshit. They tell her we have no room for her. She's got all this shit, no way to get home. You know, $3,000 to get an Uber or some shit, Uber, whatever they call it. And this is what makes you continue to use. Now, if you're a heroin addict and you didn't get to go to rehab today like you thought, do you think you're going to need heroin today? You're fucking A right you're going to need it. Yes. And now that's back to square one with a new struggle. So you get caught in this whirlwind of a trap, and before you know it, you're tempted to lie to people because you don't want the people that don't know shit to know that you're going to need to score some heroin someday, one way or the other. Now, Sharon's never fooled around with prostitution, but you're going to probably have to do some shit that's self-sabotaging. Steal, borrow money you know you can't pay back. And this is just how this constant clusterfuck stays in motion. Yeah. I mean, you know, if you could be the smartest person in the world, and it is 1,000 times easier for Sharon to just stay high until whenever. It's a huge, giant step getting out of this rut. Big time. And hers is just a slight example. That's why these people, you do. That's why these people need help, because it's just, you can't do it. And like I told Kim, Amber's mom, hey, look, I hope this works, I really do. But if it doesn't, I'll still be back here to help you. I'm not into setting up imaginary hurdles for people. She's got enough on her plate rather than worrying about whether she's going to disappoint me. If she disappoints me, hey, I'm used to it. If you don't, better yet. So, wish the best for her. Either way, I'll help her out. Yeah, those are good roast beef sandwich. You know, I know that guy that started that chain. Total douchebag. And I know him because my buddy's girlfriend was his secretary. They're in trouble. The one in Toledo closed. The one in Dearborn's not even open now. And that one in Canton's got fucked up hours. I think they're good subs. I mean, you know, how good can a sub be? But I do get them once in a while. It was pretty good. No, you can't snap your fingers. Yeah. Yeah, setting up unrealistic goals. Yeah, that's true. Yeah. You know, usually people, when, you know, that's why, I mean, most of my time with the YouTube channel is deleting negative comments and blocking people. It really is. It's more than the videos, the uploads, and the editing, and answering questions. Not kidding you, man. There's a bunch of weird people out there. There's a couple people that fuck with Sharon full time. Making up bullshit, acting like they're a probation officer. Just miserable, no good people. Well, they're not open. They haven't been open lately. I went there the other day to get a sub. You know, when you're there at 12 noon on a Saturday and the door's locked, you know, something's not adding up. Now the sign on the door says maintenance. I think they're about ready to go tits up. I can't tell you where to get a good sub. If you Google subs in Dearborn, you'll find there's some famous place over near Schaefer, and they keep selling these ass kicker subs for $5 to thank the people for making them a successful business for 40 years. And the reason that I never have been over there is because I don't like lunch meat. I don't really like lunch meat, which I guess you could say Potbelly is, but it's not like the kind of like Subway lunch meat or Jimmy John's. It's different. But if you Google it, I see it mentioned a lot. It's an Italian sub. I don't like those. I don't really like it. You ready to party? You ready to party? You are ready to party. She said, I'm ready to have that cool air blowing over my face. Yeah, lunch meat. Ah, shit. There's all sorts of illegal shit that goes on. Here you go, hon. You're gonna get this water right now, honey. Come on up here. Come up here, hon. Oh, yeah, look at that. Wow. Wow, hon. Look at this. Good girl, honey. I'll tell you, we can get a good sub in Romulus or a good sub in Ann Arbor. Oh, okay, Eric, that's cool. Be glad you're working. Yeah, it is hot. That's why I wanted to get her out here. I knew I was screwed much past noon. I wasn't even planning on coming out here today, but I got up at 5:30 for some reason and just stayed up. Oh, Daisy, you spilled your water, hon. and just stay up. I got the air conditioner on high too, because I know Daisy, these dogs, you know, I'm sure she's Lhasa Apso, Shih Tzu, Pug, something like that, and they're really sensitive to heat, and I know that from like a long time ago. So even though it's probably only 72 now, it's too hot for her. Mark, how you been feeling? Hey, Penny. Oh, good, O'Neill. Good. She is doing the best she can, yeah. Yeah, that's right, mechanic, yeah. It's not easy. Yeah, I mean, I don't really, you know, like I told Kim yesterday, I swear to God, man, I don't know why I'm like this. I really don't. It wasn't like I did a bunch of volunteer work when I was younger or something like that, or something jerked my heartstrings I saw on TV. I just kind of fell into it accidentally, you know, and it was just by doing photos and, you know, down around Delray, and just would see the girls, and they're always got to know them, waiting in line to get coffee or papers, lottery tickets or something, and just struck up a conversation. I was always interested, and I can remember thinking a long time ago, way before I did it, that I would be interested in talking to one of these people, but I never dreamed of doing it and uploading it. And I had no place to upload it, you know. It's just fooling around, really. This guy will get a ticket if they see him here. No, you're right. That's it. Well, there's people out there. You know, I've crossed paths with some. I've got some friends that have like crazy money. It doesn't really interest me, not at all. It doesn't. I don't know why. I used to be that way, but I'm not anymore. Hey, Rita. Yeah, maybe. Yeah, I do. I do have an interest in real life. I really do. Maybe that's it, you know. But it's all like, it's easy for me to do. It's like if you look at my videos, like most of them, nobody watches. You know, I know that I don't do any of them because of money. Because there isn't any money in hardly almost all of them. And mind you, like I've got 10,000 plus videos uploaded. You know, you'd think you'd be like killing it. It doesn't really work that way. And I do get money from YouTube now, and I mean, I'm not bitching or I don't want any money sent to me, but I mean, it is expensive to go on these trips. And before I was just paying for it. I never thought I'd get anything paid back, and now I'm not. So it's like getting paid to go on vacation. I was doing it anyway. Another thing I've noticed too is like, I mean, I'm not saying it never happens. You could have a video and you get a lot of views right away, but by and large, I've had videos that sat around forever and didn't do shit for a couple years. Although I don't really look at it that way. They just, not many people watched them, and then for whatever reason they take off and it ends up being like a viral video. But it isn't like there's this formula for knowing that's going to happen for sure. Just get lucky. Hey, Michelle. Yeah, well, I lose a lot. I have much less subscribers than I would have if I ran a channel like people would like me to. I get emails all the time saying that they wake up, they don't want to see a ham sandwich and pancakes and my dog, and that the reason they joined the channel was because of the interviews with the girls, and I need to start a separate channel. I get those constantly. Oh yeah, I don't know too much about that OnlyFans. I hear people talk about it. I'm not sure what it is. I think it's some kind of porn thing. I don't know if it's just porn or you can do a lot of things on there or what. Hey, Karen. Yeah, that's what I say. A lot of rude people just make rude comments. Yeah, Hug Million. I mean, that's what ends up getting your channel where people watch it, is a YouTube recommendation. If it wasn't for that, uh, nothing's happening. I mean, you do learn over time. I learned it all accidentally. You cannot build a channel. I mean, if that's what you're into, see, I don't really care, right? Because I don't market mine. I just go with what I like doing, and if they watch, fine. If they don't, fine. But other people, they like their channel and they're trying to build it and they want to make a living at it. I don't think a channel could ever make it with just a chat. I just don't think it's possible. I don't care who you are. I mean, maybe there are some people doing it. I'm talking about in general. Yeah, that's what I say. And it's weird what people find interesting. I mean, I'll spend 45 minutes piecing together, like, let's say, the photos, those infrared photos. I like doing it, right? Put it together, add music, edit it, upload it. And that probably takes an hour, and that's not counting taking the photos, which I'm fine with. And my damn grilled cheese will get more views. So if you were a person that was like trying to do this as a source of income, I could see how it'd get really frustrating. Tweety or So Tweety, whatever her name was, she used to live out in Seattle. She moved to be with her boyfriend in Austin, Texas. Look at her, I think it's So Tweety. She has a cruise ship channel where she does cruise ships. And she told me she spends about 50 hours on a video. I believe it. A lot of editing, graphics, all that. And I think she's got it's an excellent channel. I think she's got 1,700 subscribers. Yeah, So Tweety. Yeah, that's it. Oh, thanks, Karen. Yeah, it's kind of fun. I get bored doing the same thing. I like those infrared photos. It's really hard when you're taking the photos, though, to tell if it's so dark in the viewfinder. I mean, it looks to me like I'm super underexposing all of them. And I just got to go with it because I've overexposed them before. You get back and they're just too bad, too washed out. So I'm clicking these shots off all the time, barely seeing what's there, and then hoping it's going to work when I get back. Oh yeah, gaming though, those are popular, some of those gaming channels. Yeah, you can get a degree in that now. Go to college and get a degree. There's big money in that. I look at the system requirements for some of those games. It's like crazy, man. You gotta have like $8,000 into a computer for it to work right. Hey, Stacy. Oh, karaoke, that's cool. Today I'm just taking it easy. It's going to be 80 degrees, high humidity. I'm going to catch up on some of my reading. Yeah, well, I've said before, I mean, the quality of the good photos is good cameras. It really is. I mean, the cameras I have are like good cameras, and you can tell by the photos. I mean, there's no, I don't, if you have good lenses and good cameras, I mean, that's the kind, all I do is look through the hole and push the button. No shit. I haven't shot a manual shot in 10 years, I'll bet. That's how good. It's like 256 point autofocus. It's not perfect, but most of the time it is good enough. I mean, I do change exposure sometimes, you know, up or down a stop, but that's about it. It's got to be pretty bad for me not to upload it. I'm actually in Romulus. No, video games is cool. I see they're giving $1 million prizes now for some of the winners. Yeah, good. Glad you're working a lot, Eric. That's as I said, difficult to do nowadays. And with these numbers ticking up, who knows what's going to happen. I see on Vining Road, that road that Goddard, I think it is, it's the north side of the airport. They got that closed today. I don't know what's going on there. This is 767. Samka, how you doing? All right, Rodney, talk to you later. Yeah, it's a lot of fun stimulus, you know, video games. It's like a slot machine. Except you know, you got to have some skills. Slot machine, you could put a monkey on there and he'd have the same odds you would. Where's that at, Stacy, where they're doing those? What are they looking for? gotcha. Elkhart, yeah. I was down in Elkhart, Indiana one night. I think it might have told you this. And staying at a Red Roof Inn down there, and the sheriffs ended up showing up. There was a working girl soliciting people in the rooms. Well, anyway, the cops came, found out she had a warrant, took the door off the hinges, and ended up arresting the local pharmacist. And they later nailed him with providing her drugs and all sorts of stuff. That was probably 20 years ago. Do you remember that? It had to have been in the paper down there. It's really easy, Michelle. If you email me, I could walk you through it. It's super easy to upload them off a computer or a phone. See you, Rita. Have a good day. Oh, live singing videos? Yeah, I'll check some of those out. Oh, sorry about that, Stacy. There's a lot of things out there for that. You know, I know the feeling. I found the biggest problem depression caused me is for so many years that I thought I knew what was causing it. And I would blame things on it. Relationships, wife, where I was living, clients. And I found out later that was all wrong. It wasn't because of anything. But you don't know that at the time. Yeah, I do. Yeah, I do have it. Not bad as I had it. Seems to be getting better. I don't know why. Yeah, oh yeah, heck yeah, I've been locked up in mental hospitals twice. Yeah, I've had it pretty bad. Today I'm just west of Detroit. I just took Daisy out for a run. It's going to be hot here today, so I'm going to catch up on my reading. Just took her for a run. I'm in Romulus, actually, Romulus, Michigan. This is the city where Amazon just put a big thing not long ago, and they're expanding. Well, have you seen those new Blazers? Man, are they sharp-looking vehicles? That's the first new car I've seen in a long time that I thought was really nice looking. I got this light gray looking one. Man, is it sharp. It's supposed to rain here tomorrow. I hope it does. Keeps me from going out and doing videos. It's about the only thing that works. And even then, I'll video that if it's a good rain. There's nothing that keeps me from video. Nice day, bad day, earthquake, tornado. I had that Astrovan shirt on the other day that Dolly bought me. It was funny, people would ask me, is that Astro? Does that mean Astrovan? It's like, yeah, it does. I would like another Astrovan. Nice one. Yeah, Camry's good. Toyotas are good car. Good trucks. Go forever. But you look at this engine I have in this, a 4.3. I don't burn any oil. And 411,000 miles. Right around there. Original radiator, original trams. That's pretty damn impressive. Hey Lisa. Yeah, I had a Saturn that I bought as like an extra vehicle when we do surveillance sometimes where it didn't require like video. And we had bought a Saturn for that, and I put 325,000 miles on that, but it's a great car, 5-speed. I think if they'd have kept making Saturns, they'd have went out of business. There wasn't enough money in them. It's crazy what people pay for these new vehicles now. And I don't think I could ever lease a vehicle either. I think I'm just too old school for that. Just like not really owning it would bother me. Probably be shooting myself in the foot, but how many miles you have on that Camry, Lisa? Yeah, that's what I had, SC1, yeah. That was 4-door, right? 4-door or 2-door? Yeah, I just can't, you know, it's probably, if you don't drive many miles, I guess it's alright. I just don't like the idea of it, not owning it. It's stupid, probably. You know, the Wall Street Journal ran an article a couple years ago that said the average middle class family, whatever that is, could not afford to purchase a new vehicle with typical debt. I believe that. There's no way in hell I'm paying 40-something thousand dollars for a car. I'm not paying $10,000 for a car. I saw a guy pick this girl up right here today out of the weeds. I don't know what the deal was. There just happened to be, heading out this way. That's definitely her. I don't know whether she passed out, OD. Oh, did you, Dave? I'm gonna buy that diesel pickup if that guy sells it. It's a family affair. It's a good song. Sly and the Family Stone. There's another example of how drugs can ruin your life. He came from a great family. Super talented guy and ends up messing around with drugs. Yeah, that's a good song. I love Sly and the Family Stone. There's some pretty good YouTube videos on there. I don't know, I hope he's doing all right. O'Reilly parts are everywhere. O'Reilly Auto Parts. They just built one in my town. Oh, did you, Stacy? Oh, that's cool. Good for you, Michelle. You like it? I think there's getting to be a point with restaurants and automobile manufacturers where they're heading to a point where in order for them to make any money, they've got to charge a dollar amount too high for the average person to afford it. I've noticed that with eating out, and it's certainly already happened with new cars. It's getting to the point where you can't afford to charge enough because nobody's going to pay that. It's happening with vehicles and food for sure. These restaurant owners are getting it from all ends. This COVID bullshit. Oh, really, Stacy? No kidding, huh? Did you come from a bad family or something? See all these little old-fashioned hotels and motels? These owners make a killing. There's a lot of money in serving the poor. You can charge twice as much as for a bottle of pop as you can in the suburbs. You can nail them with a deposit and a higher rate than a businessman would pay for a room. You can charge 3 times as much for a roll of toilet paper because they can't drive, they can't travel. They only walk to the local store. Once again, it's just one of these mechanisms to where these people are constantly under the rock. So thankful I don't have to go to some shitty job that I hate for some bullshit wage. Even in the good days, the detective agency, that is a lot of ass kissing, big time. I never got one client that came to me. I mean, sometimes referrals. I marketed and cold called them all, which is impossible to do. I don't think I could do it anymore. They've got 50 people just like me banging on their door all week long. And it is hard to get your foot in the door places, much less keep a client. In Illinois, I built up a pretty good detective agency there too. And every one of my good clients quit writing in Illinois because of their crazy, nutty workers' comp policies. They couldn't make any money. And at this age, I just can't market anymore, man. I just can't do it. That's one reason. Now, that's one virtue of being older, because I'm pretty sure I'm not going to have to kiss any more asses to run a business. And that is a good feeling. I'd rather drive a shuttle bus or something for $10 an hour than do that. It sucks going out and marketing and taking these screwballs out to lunch. Oh my God. You'll never have, in the 80s, you would have to take these guys out, these nerds, to topless bars and just spend a Friday night and pay for everything for like 5 hours and just listen to this endless, boring, stupid conversation. God, I'm so glad those days are over. Man, somebody's parked in my parking spot. I can still do it. Astrovan, one downside about them, they don't exactly have the greatest turning radius. Home sweet home. I'll be here for a month by the time it's all over with. Yeah, I didn't like my growing up years either. Yeah, the mirrors do stick out far. They do, yep. Yeah, I lived here. I had a house here for about 5 years, right around Cherry Hill and Telegraph. It was a great neighborhood until somebody broke into our house one time when we were on a 2-day vacation and stole our vacuum cleaner. What really pissed me off, though, is they went through my wife's underwear drawer. Young guy at the time, you know, stupid thinking. So what I went out and got 2 pit bulls and then went through a lawsuit with the city of Dearborn over a 3-year period. I ended up suing the city, the dog catcher, the police department, a couple of neighbors, all over 2 friendly pit bulls. They didn't want me having them. It didn't, Mama, really? Mary, where did that happen at? Somebody stole the refrigerator. I think they, I mean, at the time I remember thinking I'd like to think they were looking for jewelry. It pissed me off. I probably did overdo it with 2 pit bulls, but I was so damn pissed off. I figured that out and then freaked all the neighbors out. All these stupid neighbors of mine thought that they were going to eat their kids. No, I didn't. I'm not going to get a Captain Nemo's. You can't eat in there anymore. I try not to. I don't like getting to go shit that much, to be honest with you. And that's there. That's what it is now. To go. Too much bullshit. Yeah, they could have been doing that shit too. I mean, that's the kind of thing I was thinking as a young guy. That's what 35 years now did to me. Now I'd give them the panties happily. Yeah, I had quite a few pit bulls actually. They're a pain in the ass though. I mean, they were great dogs. I loved them, but most of them or a lot of them are animal aggressive. So it's just I'm too old to own a pit bull now. I don't want to. Even Daisy, believe it or not, Daisy's more of a problem than a pit bull. Now she isn't going to do more damage, but I gotta constantly. I met a guy for dinner the other night. She snapped at him. So, and those pit bulls, I mean, I don't want an aggressive dog. But when you've got one that's animal aggressive, they just couldn't help it. They weren't Staffordshire Terriers. I mean, they were game pit bulls. Great around people, no problem. But when you let a dog or a cat come in the yard, watch out. It's just not. I don't want that kind of stress. Yeah, I bet we are going to get a hot summer. They're cool looking dogs, and as tough as they have a lot of inherent problems that other dogs wouldn't have. Kind of like labs with hip dysplasia. Like I had to put one to sleep because it had a form of epilepsy, and it spun around so much after trying every kind of medication that it actually wore its foot off, one of its right rear foot. And they get other things too, cancers. They're terriers. If you look at terriers and some of the things they get, it's not what like a normal dog would get. Yeah, Daisy's a good dog. Oh wow, Mary. No wonder you like where you live now. Yeah, Daisy's a good dog. Oh, sorry about that, Michelle. When I was a kid, if we needed anything more than heartworm for a dog, it was time for a new dog. I look at what these people, I'd probably do it too. I mean, it's a different way of thinking. I mean, 40 years ago, if they said, oh, Fluffy's got a brain tumor. Well, Fluffy, it's been nice knowing you. This is really sad, but I don't have 10 grand to get you chemotherapy that probably isn't going to work. But nowadays, shit, God knows what I'd do for Daisy. So I'd rather have the dog than the money. Even if I would just go for it. Yeah, Pueblo's good food. Yep. Oh, he did? Oh no, that sucks. Well, I think I'm going to sign off here, you guys. You guys have a good day today. Thanks for supporting Sharon and Kim. And I'll probably be on here later today. Yeah, she's in the car. Yep. Right there. She's going to be anxious to hit the air conditioning. Yeah, you're right, Frisky. It's true. See you, Ono. Have a good day, Hug Million. All right, Mary. Have a good day. See you. See you, Frisky. See you, Michelle. Intellectual. See you, Kimbers. Bye, Lisa. You guys have a good day today. All right, Blue. You too, Debbie and Dave. Bye, Penny. Bye, Laura. See you, Tim.